Carson Kvapil just won his first career O'Reilly Series race at Indianapolis. And instead of just celebrating a huge moment, he's dealing with a wave of online backlash. Why? Because of what he did on the yard of bricks. Stick around, because there's a lot more to this story than what you're seeing on social media. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live the sport every week. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the race itself, because this win didn't come easy. Carson Kvapil passed Chastain for the lead on lap 79 of the 100-lap race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. From that point on, he never gave the lead back. That's not a small detail. Leading 21 laps at a track like Indy under pressure is no easy task. But it got tense. Justin Allgaier charged into second place on lap 94. He kept closing the gap, and by the white flag, he was within just 0.283 seconds of Kvapil. That's about as close as it gets. Kvapil had to hold his nerve over that final lap, and he did. He crossed the line to win by 0.643 seconds, his first career win. At Indianapolis. Now here's where things get complicated. In the emotional celebration afterward, Kvapil did a burnout on the yard of bricks, and if you know anything about Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you know that track has a rule. Drivers are instructed not to do burnouts on the bricks. It's treated as sacred ground there. NASCAR actually did try to send a reminder about that rule to the team during the cool-down lap. But here's the thing. Carson Kvapil never heard it. His radio had already been disconnected by that point, so the reminder never reached him. Once it was brought to his attention, Kvapil didn't make excuses. He said, quote, "I looked at that about 20 minutes after the race, and I was like, probably wasn't good. I was unplugged from the radio, so I have no idea if they said anything or not. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mistake there probably." That's about as straightforward an admission as you're going to get from a driver. JR Motorsports owner Dale Earnhardt Jr. also stepped up and took responsibility for the team. He said, "Our apologies. The driver was unplugged from his radio when NASCAR sent the reminder. Lots going on when that all went down. Certainly regret any inconvenience." So you've got two apologies here, one from the driver himself and one from the team owner. And yet, the criticism online kept going. That's what prompted NASCAR insider Jordan Bianchi to speak up on the latest episode of the Teardown podcast. Bianchi believes the backlash directed at Kvapil has gone way beyond what the situation actually calls for. He put it pretty bluntly. He said he understands the protectiveness fans have over the bricks at Indianapolis, but he drew a clear line. If this had been a veteran driver, someone who'd won there before and should have known better, Bianchi said, fine, criticize that. But this was a driver getting his first career win, making what Bianchi called an honest, genuine mistake. In his words, Dale Jr. apologized. Carson apologized. Let it go. You know, it's worth remembering. This isn't even the first time something like this has happened at the bricks. Justin Allgaier did a similar burnout back in 2018. Kyle Busch did one that same year in 2018. And Jimmie Johnson did one back in 2012. So Kvapil isn't the first driver to get caught up in the moment at Indy. Now, to be fair, burnouts on the yard of bricks are something drivers are supposed to avoid, given the history and tradition tied to that spot. But Bianchi's point is really about intent. There's a difference between deliberately disrespecting a tradition and a first-time winner getting swept up in the biggest moment of his career, especially when he never even heard the reminder in the first place. Both Kvapil and Earnhardt Jr. owned the mistake. They apologized. They accepted responsibility. And for Bianchi, that should be the end of it. So here's the question for you. Given that Kvapil never heard the radio reminder and both he and Dale Jr. apologized afterward, do you think the criticism should stop here? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next story. This is NASCAR Nation News, and we'll see you in the next video.